What's going on, peoples? What's happening, y'all? Something just been heavy on my mind for about a month. And, sometimes you can't really say certain things, but, your homie keep trying to make me throw up this shit, you see. I guess to get it out of my system so they can feed me some more. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you do, Listen. The J, that J, it's not in the Hebrew language. I mean, the Hebrew alphabet, That's the 10th letter, so I guess the Yod would be the 10th letter. The Yod, the Yod, that's the 10th letter. O-D and U-D, whatever. But that's the 10th letter, you see. Y'all got to figure out where y'all at right now. Y'all got to figure out where you're at. Well, you don't have to figure nothing out because you're stuck right where you are. But time is here, you see, and you really can't see it. You can't process it because you dwelling in the 3D. You see, you have to go to the other side of the 3D. You see, you have to go to the other side of the 3D. It's right next to you. You see, it's right next to you. You always got to always remember your mother and your father. You see, always remember your mother and your father. Just remember how they created you. You see, how they binded themselves together and created you. You see, you are them together, mixed up. You see, you are them. You see, yeah. With their personalities, you see. You got a lineage on your mama's side, you got a lineage on your father's side, you see. It's like, and you are the apex of that pyramid, you see. The apex of that pyramid, you see. How you spell pyramid? Write the word pyramid backwards, you see. And then you'll see D-I, and after the Y, you will see a P. You see, you'll see a P, and right in the center of that D-I and the P, you will see Mary right there. You'll see Mary. So you got a 4 and a 9, and then you have that, P, which is a 7. You see, that's a 13, and then it's a 7, right at the end. You see, but right in the middle of there, of that word pyramid reversed, it's the word Mary. You see, it's the word Mary. 1, I said 13 and 7, right? That P is a 7. 1 and 6 is 7. Okay, that P is a 7. You see, and that D and that I, you see, that's the id from the mid. Pyramid, that's the id, but it's just backwards, you see. You see, it's the 4 and the 9, that's a 13, you see. You can either use that as a 1, or you can just use it. I like to use these bodies because it speaks to me, these words, you see. I tell you that I'm inside of all these words, you see. From my mother, my father, you see, everything, I'm inside of it. I know you all you can't just, because I'm not what you call it articulate like, most people. I don't have a whole lot of book sense. I have God sense and nature sense. You see, I don't have a lot of book sense, so I won't be like straight communicating the way most people do, to be on these little pod shows or social media and shit. You can't like say to me like, hey, let me talk to you on my show, and things. You won't get nothing from me. You see, I won't even feel comfortable because I don't have that world. You see, I don't have that world. You see, I commune as I go. You see, there's Mary in between that 13. That 4 and 9 is a 13, and then there's a 7, 1, 3, 7, and then you will see the word or the month of it's a Og. You see, AU7, AUG. You see, AUG. You see, 67 is a 13. You see, 67 is a 13. That 4 and the 9. See, 4 and the 9. You add a 9 to that 4 and a 9, it'll be a 58. You add another 9, you see, it'll be a 67. You see how it's in order? It'll be a 67, you see. So you got a 18 right there. That's a ah. You see, that's a ah. Listen. When they talk about that J, understand something, that the J, that 10th letter, the J, you see, you know of it here. You see, the majority of you know of that letter. And the extension of that word is you have an E, and then you have a sus. You see, an E and a sus. You see, Isus. You see, is us. You see, you have a J, and then you have a is us. You see, Yahusha. You see, you have Yahusha. You see, there's some other space and time. Yasha! 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 You see, you have Yasha. You see. You see. Who went to hell? Jesus or Yahusha? You see, who went to hell? Jesus or Yahusha? You see, descended to hell. I'm just trying to share something with you. You can build upon this on your own, but I'm just here to give you, to dig something for you. You see, you know, there's a body. When you read the story of Jesus, it's in the Bible. When you read that story of Jesus, you see, you'll see that the things that he went through was inside of the pain. You see, it's horrific. You know, the horrific things that happened to him according to the book. You see, these horrific things, you see, listen, I don't know what the fuck, man. I'm telling you, boy, this shit is so darn hard, man. It's so hard, you see, because, you know, these things aren't mine, you see. They're not mine. And I be trying to spit this shit out to get it out of me like I was told to do. Spit this shit up, throw it up, spit it out, you see. Spit it out because it's connected to something inside of me. And when I speak these things, you see, something releases, you see, in me. The more I speak like I'm speaking, you know, when people say I don't know what I'm talking about and all this other type of shit, I'm not worried about what them people say. I'm just spitting this shit out. You see, I'm just spitting all these things out like I'm supposed. I'm doing exactly what I was told to do. You see, exactly what I'm supposed to do. You see, I'm not concerned about what the people saying. You see, according to the book, I'm not concerned about that. You see, they're gonna have to figure something out real quick. You see. They're going to have to figure something out real quick, you see, because when this body get released, you know, it's like there's not going to be a lot of talking, you see. There's going to be a lot of doing, you see, doing, anytime a person just do a whole lot of things in plain sight and people don't question, don't ask what he's doing, you see, what is he talking about? Why he talking in fragments? You know what I'm saying? You know, how come he don't talk to where the people will understand? You see, because he don't know who you are, you see. He don't know who you are and he ain't around nobody for real. So, you see. So it'd probably be a little dangerous for him, you see. Well, what I started to say was that you are this Jesus, you see. You are this Jesus, you see. If you haven't went through what the Bible said it went through, you see, you don't have nothing to do with that vision or that story, you see. You don't have nothing to do with it. You can read it, you can pray to it, and do all other type things, you see. You do all other type things, but you see. Well, I don't know about you praying to it, because I don't think you're praying. I don't think you're praying, you see. I really don't. I don't think you're praying. I think what's happening is that you are like thespians, kind of like, you see. You're doing scripts, you see. It's like a scripts and shit, you see. Black, where you going? You're doing scripts, and so, oh, there's the homie right there. So you really never heard a person pray before. I don't think. I hear people, I see people online, and I mean on social media. They close their eyes. They close their eyes, and then they start praying, you see, in front of all the people, thousands of people that's watching them, You see, they be praying and stuff, you see. You know, you're going to be asked these questions. You see, you're going to be asked these questions. And the beings that's going to come down and talk to you about these things, you're going to fight them. Remember when I said you're going to box Jesus? You're going to fight Jesus? You're going to literally fight him. Because you're not going to believe him. You're not going to believe nothing that the person is saying. Didn't I say that everybody in this land who have roots in this land, they are? You see that body? You see? They are that body. Some of us still have grandparents who remember these horrific things that happened to Jesus. You see? But how do you create the body of Jesus? You see? You gotta unify and be on one accord. You see? You have to literally help each other develop. You yourself are going to have to develop that body. You are the one that's going to put this body back together. You see? You are the one. You see? It's going to put this body together. You see? And it's going to ascend. You see? And when it ascends, this is when you're going to see Yahusha. You see? Or you might see Yasha. You see? I don't know nothing about the Yahweh Shai. You see? You see? Yah, wash, I. You see? Yah, wash, I. Yahweh, Yah. Wash, I. In order to be washed and clean, you're going to have to get in the space of whom you call Yahusha or Jesus. You're going to have to get in that space and you're going to have to pull that baby out of the womb. You see, you're going to have to pull that baby out the womb. You see, ain't nobody talking about it. You see, this is why it's going to only be a few. See, ain't nobody talking about what I'm saying. I ain't never heard this before. Ain't nobody talking about it. You see, you still have elders. You still have elders. Never mind. I can't. I'm not going to even say it, man, because it's a trip, man. You know, it is. It's a trip. It's something, man. You see, if you put yourself together as a unit, from the poor to the rich of you, you see, and create a system. Just create a system. You see, to where money will be flowing to people. You see, just think of yourself as a big country within inside of a country. You see, think of yourself as a country inside of a country. You see, and gather your people up and provide for them. And provide for them. And while you providing for them, you teaching them laws. You teaching them all these things. You see, you even writing some of the laws of integrity and morality and dignity. You're writing these things inside the laws while you helping them, you see, with food, shelter, you see, some monetary stuff, you see, helping them pay bills or get out of debt, you see, because you can do that. You can do it. You can do it. As long as it's staying inside of that circumference, long as it's staying inside of that circumference, you see, you got to go like this. See, it's like, you just circulating it. You see, circulating it. You see, you remember how Mr. Frosty used to come through your neighborhood and he get that ice cream cone, you see, and then pull that handle down and the ice cream start twirling around like this, going up like this, going all the way up, and then it creates a little spiral at the tip. Yeah, well, that's how you're gonna have to be. You see, you're gonna have to be like that. You have to spiral your people. You see, you have to get them. You see, you have to create a circumference and then square everything up so no one gets inside, other nationality get inside of what you're doing. So you're gonna have to square it up. You see, you're gonna have to have security in each corner. You see, in each corner, you see, that's a 32, a 320. You see, a 320. You see, that 40, you see, are the gates. Well, it'll be 4, you see. It'll be 4 bodies or 4 corners, you see. What I'm saying to you is you're gonna have to develop this body called Jesus. You see, this body called Jesus is filled with the world's transgressions. You see, it's filled with it. You see, the cup is overflowing. You see, with abomination. You see, it's overflowing with abomination. You see, somebody gonna have to go up under that cup and poke a hole in it. So all that bullshit, all that shit will drain out like a toilet. You see, like a toilet. It's gonna have to be flushed out. You're gonna have to detox your people. You see, and it's gonna take a period of time. You see, yourself may not see the progress. You might be gone. But long as the discipline is there, long as the discipline is there, long as the obedience is there, you see, they'll do the works of those that came before them. You see, they'll do the works of those that came before them. So the legacy won't perish. It won't die. You see, what I'm saying to you is you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to gather this body. You got to gather this body. You see, yourself. That's called Jesus. They named you Jesus. They named you. You see, you didn't name yourself Jesus. You just prayed to him. You see, you pray to him. You see, you don't. You pray to the entity. Have you ever noticed all the praying that you do and all these other type things that you do? What do you gain from these prayers? You gain some type of substance. You see, material things. You see, money, all these things, prosperity, all these things. But it's laced with filth and abomination. You see, it's laced with all of that. You see, that's what it's laced with it all. You see, and you do it all in the name of Jesus. 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 You see, you don't know that you're here already. I heard a pastor say that there's no such thing as the rapture, which he's right about that. And then he said that Jesus isn't coming back. He don't know that he's Jesus. You know what I'm saying? He don't know. You see, he don't know. You see, he ain't Jesus. Well, you could only be Jesus when you come together. But you still are that, you see. But you don't exist. You're still in the pit. You're black. You're still in the pit. You see, you don't exist. You're only going to exist when you acknowledge each other. When you start acknowledging each other, that's when you become. You see, that's when you will feel the spirit of Yasha. You see, you'll feel that spirit. And then, you see, and then as you're developing, you see, coming out of that womb of darkness and abomination, you see, that's when you're going to see Yahusha be born. You see, through your loins. Through your loins, you see. Now here's the catch. Here's the catch. You might be too late. You see, you might just be a little too late. Let's just hope that you're not too late. You see, let's just hope that you're not too late. You see, you might be too late. You see, you know, anytime you keep getting stuff, you know, you keep getting these thoughts in your head for the past 4 years and you ain't saying nothing about it because you just rather observe and listen to the people talk and curse themselves, you see, because they don't know they're cursing themselves. But I'm just saying to you, you see, you're going to have to take on that body called Jesus. You see, take on that body that's called Jesus. You see, your ancestors already shed the blood. You see, that's how you got here up in this day and time. You see, that's why you're still living. You see, that's why you're here today in this window of time. You see, and you can see, you know, you can see the body, you see, that's talking to you. You see, turn to your left, turn to your right. You see, and see if you see a body talking to you or listening to you. Shit, I ain't listen. I don't want to put myself in no position now. You see, I ain't saying nothing. Only thing I'm saying to you is there's the blueprint to this shit. You see, there was some conning and trickery and all these other type things. See, you know, you keep on saying that it don't exist. Just like your black skin don't exist. You see, just like your black skin don't exist. Jesus didn't exist. You see, just like Jesus is a fairy tale, your black is a fairy tale. You see, it ain't real. It's real portraitly with portraits and shit. They drew these things, but I'm talking about the bodies over here. I'm not going across seas. You see, you got to stay in your own house. You see, and I'm not talking about those who feel like their land is at the Horn of Africa. You see, up in that region. You see, that's fine. You see, that's fine. You see? But stay right where you are. Stay right where you are. You know, you're going to have to flee. You ain't going to have no choice. You might not have no choice but to flee across seas if you make it, you see. But in the meantime, you see, there's something above your head. You see, kind of shaped like it's like you know how you see an arch somewhere, and then right in the center of that arch, there's like a illuminated light right there. So when you can see your way through. You see, well, that's what's sitting right there in the center. You see, it's sitting right there in the center, and right below it is a little bitty, like a point, like you see, it's like a little point. You see, could be a mountain. You see, could be, I don't know. You see, and it points straight up. You see, points straight up to that illuminated thing. You see, that's the same color as the ether. So you can't see it. The only people that can see it is the one who can see in darkness. You see, the only ones who can see it are the ones who trained themselves to see in darkness. You see, you understand me? You see, the first thing you learn in darkness is learning what do white and black look like blended together. What is that color? You see, it'll turn gray. You see, it'll turn gray. So this gray, you see, you're going to have to figure out its components. You see, and it's going to take a long time. You see, if you're doing it by yourself. But all these things can be speeded up. You see, it can be speeded up if you unify. You know, all these things can be speeded up if you unify. You have to come together. You see, you got to come to. You're gonna have to humble yourself with each other. The people gonna have to literally. Something gonna have to scare the people. Something gonna have to scare the people, so they'll go to each other. You see, go to each other, and all these bodies that's unifying on the outside. You see, they're gonna feel these things inside of these prisons. Also, the brothers and sisters that's in prison. You see, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel the energy of what's going on. You see, that's the beautiful thing. They're going to feel the energy of what's going on, and they're going to reflect what's on the outside. You see, they're going to reflect on the outside. And those who got them in captivity, you see, they're going to get sick. They're going to start rotting from the inside. You see, they ain't going to have no choice. They're going to start rotting from the inside. You see, so you really won't need, well, you're going to have to figure out some type of technology on how to get out of there, because you're dealing with a different type of species there. You see, so you see, no matter your crime, you see, no matter your crime, because all these things are about to be demolished or dismantled. You see. They're all about to be dismantled, you see, because, you know, you're going to need soldiers in these 90-degree angles, you see. I'm just talking to you, man. Oh, I wish y'all could see this map that I'm talking about. God dog it. You see, when I get comfortable and people start getting comfortable with me, I'll probably talk to one individual at a time, however it may be. You see, you know, if they accept this spirit, you see, I will probably be able to walk with them. You see, but if they, I don't know. I can't see the window, because, like I said, this shit is not mine. You see, I have to spit this stuff out. You see, shit. I want to chill like everybody else. I want to sit down and do what everybody else do. You know, the people, the righteous people. You see, I don't know. I'm just saying. You know, maybe that's just residue I'm talking about. I don't know. You see. Anyway, shit. This stuff is, this is way scarier than a gun pointed into your head. You know, I'm trying to tell you, this is more frightening than a gun pointing to your head. You see, with the hammer cocked. You see, I'm telling you, you know. Love you guys. It'd have been, yeah.